Welcome back to the day. Today we will learn about the exciting cast shakeups and beloved returns lighting up our screens this fall. Let's dive into the latest developments, starting with the week's highlights and expanding into the broader fall lineup. Kicking off the week of September 15, 2025, with a bang, the enigmatic Theo Penglis reprises his role as the sophisticated Tony DiMera, a character whose sharp wit and unwavering loyalty have defined generations of storytelling on the show. Penglis, who first stepped into Tony's polished shoes back in 1981 after a series of dramatic resurrections and identity swaps, brings a renewed vigor to the narrative as the writing team integrates him seamlessly into the central conflicts. This return isn't just a cameo, it's a pivotal move that positions Tony at the forefront of a brewing storm within the DiMera empire. On Tuesday, September 16th, viewers will catch him commanding attention at the high-profile One Stormy Night press conference, where corporate secrets and personal vendettas collide under flashing cameras and tense interrogations. His presence escalates the drama, as Tony navigates alliances with unlikely partners while uncovering layers of deception that could shatter long-standing family bonds. Penglis has shared in recent interviews that slipping back into Tony's tailored suits felt like coming home, especially with the character's evolution reflecting modern themes of redemption and resilience. Expect Tony's storyline to intertwine with themes of corporate espionage and emotional reckonings, drawing on his history of surviving explosions, amnesia, and twin brother rivalries to outmaneuver foes. By Thursday, September 18th, and Friday, September 19th, Tony's arc deepens, featuring intense confrontations that hint at larger revelations about hidden agendas in Salem's elite circles, all while Penglis delivers those trademark smirks and brooding stares that have made Tony an enduring fan favorite. Joining Tony in this DiMera-centric whirlwind is the elegant Leanne Hunley, returning as the vivacious Anna DiMera on Thursday, September 18th, a date circled in red by longtime enthusiasts eager for her sassy comebacks and glamorous flair. Hunley, who originated Anna in 1982 amid a backdrop of international intrigue and fashion-forward escapades, infuses the role with a blend of sophistication and mischief that perfectly complements the show's escalating tensions. This appearance sees Anna teaming up with Penglis as Tony and the formidable Lauren Koslow's Kate Roberts DiMera, forming a powerhouse trio that tackles a web of familial betrayals and romantic entanglements. Imagine Anna, with her impeccable style and quick tongue, strolling into a lavish DiMera mansion gathering, her arrival sparking whispers and raised eyebrows as she probes into Kate's latest schemes. Hunley's return adds a layer of historical depth, recalling Anna's past adventures involving jewel heists, diplomatic scandals, and her enduring marriage to Tony, which has weathered more storms than a Salem hurricane. In these scenes, Anna's interactions promise sparks of humor amid the drama, perhaps advising Kate on navigating the treacherous waters of power plays while uncovering clues to a looming threat against the family. Fans have long adored Hunley's portrayal for its blend of vulnerability and strength, and this brief but impactful stint is poised to remind everyone why Anna remains a cornerstone of Days of Our Lives lore, potentially setting the stage for future crossovers that explore her globetrotting past and unyielding devotion to her loved ones. Adding a touch of youthful charm to the DiMera saga, young star Kerry Christopher makes a heartfelt return as the precocious Thomas DiMera on Wednesday, September 17th, sharing poignant moments with his on-screen father, Chad DiMera, portrayed by the charismatic Billy Flynn. Christopher, who has been captivating audiences since taking over the role in 2020 after a recast that seamlessly blended into the family's turbulent history, recently expanded his horizons by joining the cast of HBO's DC's Lanterns, showcasing his versatility in superhero realms. Yet, his loyalty to Salem shines through in this episode, where Thomas's innocent perspective cuts through the adult complexities, offering Chad a grounding force amid his own battles with grief, ambition, and paternal instincts. Picture a tender father-son scene in the DiMera living room, where Thomas's wide-eyed questions about family loyalty prompt Chad to reflect on his choices, perhaps revealing a hidden family secret or a plan to protect their legacy from external threats. Christopher's performance, marked by natural curiosity and emotional depth, draws from Thomas's backstory of growing up in the shadow of the powerful DiMera name, including past storylines involving sibling rivalries with Charlotte and navigating his parents' rocky romance. This return not only highlights the next generation's role in perpetuating the show's legacy but also underscores themes of inheritance and emotional healing, with Thomas's interactions potentially influencing Chad's decisions in the ongoing corporate wars. As Christopher balances his burgeoning career, this appearance serves as a delightful bridge, reminding fans of Thomas's potential to evolve into a key player in future DiMera intrigues. The week opens on a heartwarming note with the adorable twins Amelia and Kennedy Heilman slipping back into the tiny shoes of Victoria Kiriakis on Monday, September 15th, bringing their infectious energy to interactions with TV parents Xander Kiriakis, Paul Telfer, and Sarah Horton, Lindsay Godfrey. The Heilman sisters, who have portrayed the toddler since her dramatic birth storyline in 2023 amid custody battles and parental redemption arcs, embody Victoria's spirited personality with giggles and curious explorations that melt hearts across Salem. This episode features the family unit reconvening in a cozy Horton home setting, where Victoria's playful antics, perhaps toddling after a family pet or reaching for a forbidden treat, prompt tender moments of reconnection for Xander and Sarah, who have endured separations, legal woes, and personal growth to build a stable life. The twins' return amplifies the theme of second chances, echoing Victoria's own origin as a symbol of hope born from chaos, including her parents' tumultuous history involving blackmail, imprisonment, and unexpected alliances. As the Heilmans alternate scenes with effortless charm, their presence injects levity into heavier plots, allowing Xander to showcase his softer side beyond his rogue persona and Sarah to embrace motherhood's joys. This stint not only celebrates the character's milestone but also hints at upcoming family expansions, with Victoria's interactions possibly foreshadowing new arrivals or challenges that test the Kiriakis-Horton bond in unexpected ways. Beyond this stellar week, September and October 2025 brim with even more cast dynamics that promise to reshape Salem's landscape. On the returning front, the fall preview teases a parade of icons making their way back for the show's 60th anniversary celebrations and intertwined storylines. Lamont Archie and Sal Stowers reprise Eli and Lonnie Grant, the dynamic duo whose police procedural roots and family ties to the Hortons will dive into a gripping investigation tied to Marlena's sudden health crisis, potentially uncovering a conspiracy that links back to old enemies. Matthew Ashford's Jack Devereaux returns alongside Melissa Reeves's Jennifer Horton, the journalistic power couple whose chemistry has sparked decades of adventure. Expect them to host a hospital gala that spirals into chaos, with Jack's investigative prowess clashing against DiMera machinations. Brian DiTillo's Lucas Horton and Allison Sweeney's Sammy Brady make explosive comebacks, their sibling rivalry reignited over Lucas's prison stint aftermath and Sammy's meddling in EJ's affairs, leading to a courtroom showdown that echoes past Brady family feuds. Chandler Massey's Will Horton, Christopher Sean's Paul Narita, and Greg Vaughn's Eric Brady form a poignant trio, returning to bid farewell to a key figure, rumored to be tied to John Black's legacy, while exploring themes of forgiveness and lost opportunities in emotional therapy sessions at the hospital. Marie Cheatham's Marie Horton and Rourke Critchlow's Mike Horton add nostalgic depth, participating in anniversary flashbacks that reveal untold Horton secrets, perhaps involving a long-buried treasure or family curse. Colton Little's Andrew Donovan and Steven Schnetzer's Steve Olson bring ISA intrigue, allying with Roman to thwart an international threat that endangers the entire town. Additionally, Marcy Miller's anticipated return as Abigail Devereaux in late September injects supernatural twists, with her ghostly visions guiding Chad through a haunting mystery at the DiMera crypt, blending horror elements with emotional closure. For debuts injecting fresh blood, Tyler Joseph Andrews steps in as Theo Carver on September 5th, already making waves as Abe's son grapples with tech-savvy innovations in Salem's security systems, clashing with traditionalists like Roman in a cyber-espionage plot. Come late October, Hank Northrup debuts in a yet-to-be-revealed role, teased as a mysterious ally to the Kiriakis clan, possibly a long-lost relative with ties to Victor's empire, arriving amid a corporate takeover battle that pits Xander against Philip. On the departing side, while major exits tapered off earlier in the year, whispers suggest a recast for Javi Hernandez following El Calderon's summer departure, with the new actor potentially bowing out in October after a brief stint resolving a Hernandez family vendetta. James Reed's Clyde Weston, after his dramatic shooting in July, has fully exited the canvas, leaving a void in the villainous lineup that allows for rising antagonists to fill the power vacuum. These changes not only honor the show's rich history but also pave the way for innovative storytelling, ensuring Days of Our Lives remains a timeless escape filled with passion, betrayal, and unbreakable family ties. Stay tuned as these threads unravel, and Salem's drama reaches new heights this fall. Part 2, Hits and Misses of the Week, September 8th to 12th on Days of Our Lives. Welcome back, dear friends, to another weekly reflection on the ever-dramatic, ever-surprising world of Days of Our Lives. The week of September 8th to 12th has been filled with moments that touched our hearts, tested our patience, and left us with much to think about as we journey alongside the families of Salem. As always, some storylines shone with depth and beauty, while others left us scratching our heads or wishing for a different approach. Let's take a closer look at this week's favorites and disappointments. Missed, Jack and Jennifer's persistence crosses a line. For longtime viewers, Jack Devereaux, Matthew Ashford, and Jennifer Horton, Melissa Reeves, are more than just beloved characters, they're part of the very fabric of Salem. Their decades of ups and downs, triumphs and tragedies, have made them a couple we root for through thick and thin. Yet this week, their behavior regarding the possible parole of Mark Green, Jonah Robinson, struck a sour note. Their anger is understandable. Mark's crimes left scars that are still fresh for many in town. Jack and Jennifer's protective instincts, both toward their loved ones and their community, come from a place of pain and justice. But the way they've been hounding Chad, Billy Flynn, insisting over and over that he throw his full weight behind keeping Mark behind bars, has started to feel heavy-handed. What makes this especially complicated is that both Jack and Jennifer know all too well what it's like to live with mistakes. Jack's own past is riddled with actions he wishes he could take back, some far darker than he'd like to remember. Jennifer, too, has had her moments of questionable judgment. The Salem we know and love has always been a place where redemption is possible, where forgiveness is extended, even to those we once thought unforgivable. It's not that Jack and Jennifer are wrong to be upset. They have every right to fight for what they believe in. But their tunnel vision this week has shown how difficult it can be when personal hurt clashes with the broader question of fairness. Not everyone in Salem agrees with them, and the constant nagging makes their righteous anger harder to sympathize with. Perhaps the writers are setting up an even bigger confrontation down the road, but for now, this storyline left many of us feeling weary. Hit, Philip and Xander's surprising truce. On the flip side, the unexpected alliance between Philip Kiriakis, Jean-Paul Lavoisier, and Xander Cook, Paul Telfer, has been an absolute joy to watch. For years, these two men have been locked in an endless cycle of rivalry, mistrust, and betrayal. Their clashes over family power, money, and of course, love, have provided plenty of fireworks. So seeing them suddenly on the same side this week has been a refreshing twist that no one saw coming. What makes this storyline work so well is the natural chemistry between the actors. Paul Telfer and Jean-Paul Lavoisier have a rare ability to bring both gravitas and humor to their scenes. When Philip and Xander banter, there's a sharp wit that makes their dialogue sparkle. When they scheme together, their combined cunning is enough to make anyone nervous. Of course, this alliance is not built on trust. Xander, who has struggled mightily to forgive Sarah, Lindsay Godfrey, somehow finds it easier to make peace with Philip. It's a fascinating contradiction. He cannot let go of the betrayal he feels from Sarah, yet he's willing to join forces with a man who has caused him endless headaches. Perhaps that says more about Xander than it does about anyone else. Still, fans are eating it up. The truth is, when Philip and Xander are working together, the screen lights up. They're both flawed men, deeply scarred by the choices they've made, but when united, they're compelling to watch. It's a hit for the week, and one we hope lasts a little while longer, even if it's only until their inevitable next falling out. Hit, Julie and Maggie share their grief, and Theo's return brings hope. Few things touch the heart more than watching characters we've loved for decades confront life's deepest sorrows. This week, the grief support group gave us some of the most moving scenes on the show. Julie Williams, Susan Seaforth Hayes, and Maggie Horton, Suzanne Rogers, two pillars of Salem's history, sat together and shared the weight of their losses. Julie gently reminded Maggie that the next day marked the anniversary of Victor Kiriakis' death. It's hard to believe a year has passed since Salem lost one of its most powerful, complicated figures. Victor was a titan, a man whose influence stretched far and wide, but at the end of the day, he was also a husband, a father, and a grandfather whose absence is felt deeply. For Maggie, the grief remains raw. The way the show allows her to continue processing that pain feels authentic, and for longtime fans, it resonates with our own experiences of loss. What's remarkable is how Days of Our Lives has handled grief over the years. Instead of letting a character's death fade into the background after a few weeks, the writers remind us again and again that mourning is not a neat process. It ebbs and flows. Some days are easier, others harder. For viewers, especially those who have walked through their own grief journeys, these storylines can feel healing. Amid this sorrow, though, comes a spark of hope. After weeks of hearing about Theo Carver and his breakup with Claire, it seems the young man is finally on his way back to Salem. A new actor, Tyler Joseph Andrews, is stepping into the role, and his arrival is being eagerly anticipated. Theo has always been a beloved character, full of heart and resilience, and his return promises fresh stories and perhaps new beginnings. It's fitting that in the same week we watched Maggie and Julie carry the burden of loss, we also get the promise of Theo's return. In true Days fashion, grief and hope walk hand in hand, reminding us that life in Salem, just like life outside our television screens, is a tapestry of sorrow, memory, and the possibility of joy. Final thoughts. The week of September 8th to 12th gave us plenty to talk about. From the frustration of watching Jack and Jennifer dig themselves deeper into self-righteousness, to the surprising delight of Philip and Xander's uneasy truce, to the poignant grief shared by Julie and Maggie, Days of Our Lives continues to deliver the drama, laughter, and heartache we've come to love. And with Theo's return on the horizon, there's no doubt Salem's future will be as complicated and compelling as ever. For fans who have followed these stories for decades, weeks like this remind us why we keep tuning in. We see ourselves in the struggles, triumphs, and emotions of these characters. And no matter how many years pass, the heart of Salem continues to beat strong.